Welcome back, guys. It's Thomas, and we've made it through most of our top 10 lists, but now we have to go through our top 10 favorite action figures of 2025. And there's been so much good stuff out there this year from multiple different companies, but which were the ones that landed onto my top 10? So we're gonna get straight into it. Sit back, relax, enjoy. And these are my top 10 favorites of 2025. At the number 10 spot is my number one pick for Marvel Legends, which is the blue suit Punisher from the Gameverse 2-pack. He came with Nick Fury, but I have been waiting for a blue suit Punisher. I didn't need any crazy paint, very simplistic design. This is all I needed. I've been waiting for this suit. I'm glad it's not some kind of overwhelming blue. I think it came out fantastic. The face sculpt looks amazing. Came with some really good accessories, so really good loadout. And, you know, they did add deco in places where Marvel Legends doesn't normally. So you got some deco hits on the buttons. They could have probably done it on the pouches, but overall, it's a nice matte blue. So simple, nothing crazy. And it's just one of my favorite Marvel Legends of the year. So this is one I can knock off my checklist of things I've been waiting for. So for my number 10 pick goes to Punisher from Marvel Legends. And at my number 9 spot, I have the Jersey Devil. This is the Figure Obscura line from Mythic Legions, and I'm not a hardcore Mythic Legions collector. I collect mostly the Figure Obscura. I have about 4 or 5 of them now. This one was a must for me. So I'm from the New York, New Jersey area, so to get a character based on kind of urban legend from where I'm from was really cool, and it's a super badass figure. So kind of demonic, kind of evil looking. I love that. Comes with some really cool accessories, great details there, and the wingspan is crazy. I do have some issues with one of the wings, kind of keeps popping off, but that's fine. He's pretty much just in this pose most of the time on this base because he's really heavy. I'm sure without the base he'd be really difficult to stand, but he has this really cool wired tail. Pretty awesome. Pretty sure this is where the New Jersey Devils got their name, assuming. But just a really cool badass figure. So side profile's creepy, has that kind of horse face with the horns. I don't know. They just put a lot of cool details into this. And the Figure Obscura figures, they come out of left field. You never know what they're gonna do. I did pass up on the Rat King, but typically what happens, I see it in person and then I pick it up, but we'll see. I don't know if I'll get that one. This is my entry for number 9, the Mythic Legions Figure Obscura Jersey Devil. At my number 8 spot is kind of strange because this figure also made it to my worst figures of the year list. It's the 5K Toys Earth Guardian, aka Captain Planet. Now, how can a figure make your worst list but also make your favorite list? And that's simple. It's subjectively not a great figure. It has a lot of QC issues. The mullet pops off, unfortunately, too easy. His leg is loose, so not so much his leg, his foot. So I'll keep him on this fight stand, but it still is one of my favorite pickups of the year, despite those issues. So still have glowing things to say about the design, and just the fact that we got a Captain Planet figure. And my first purchase from 5K Toys, so I'll definitely kind of avoid buying from them if I have to, but I still like the figure. So kind of strange, you probably won't see many lists where a top 10 is also on the top worst, but on my list it is. So anyways, number 8 goes to Captain Planet by 5K Toys. For my number 7 spot goes to Sidewinder from Valaverse's Action Force. And this is the Day of the Dead variant. I skipped on the original one because he looked a little plain to me, but this Day of the Dead face paint version definitely hit all the right spots for me. So I love this figure. I only picked up about 10 Action Force items this year. I'm a little afraid for next year because there's so many things coming out, but for 2025, this Sidewinder was enough to make my top 10 list. So other than the face paint, he comes with an awesome loadout. So he has tons of great accessories, the dual Uzis, the side piece, and then he comes with this big sword or blade on the back. He does come with different grenades, so he has three of them on this leg, and then it looks like he has some gas grenades on the other. So he's fully loaded. This is a great figure. Like I said, there's so much coming out in this following year from Valaverse that's definitely going to hit the wallet a little hard, but I was glad that I was able to get this guy. I do wish I got one of the variants because the face paint had a little more color on it, but I love having this guy on the shelf. So for my number 7 pick goes to Sidewinder. At the number 6 spot, this goes to PandaCon, who was my number 1 spot on my TMNT favorite list. This is an awesome figure that I never thought we'd get. He was never in the original cartoon, and he actually is not part of the Ninja Turtle license. So whatever NECA did to get with the owners of the rights for PandaCon, they made it happen. There wasn't many new characters that NECA gave us this year, but they did give us PandaCon. So one of my favorite releases of the year, my absolute favorite release for Ninja Turtles, and just super happy to get them. I hope NECA continues this trend of giving us kind of these not cartoon but adjacent, especially the ones that were in the old Playmates line. So he has some great detail, great sculpt work. He has a little bit of detail that is from the old Playmates line, and then he does have lots of inspiration that makes him look like he fits into that Fred Wolf universe. So for my number 6 count, this goes to PandaCon from NECA's TMNT Toon line. At the number 5 spot, we have Jada Toys' Tony the Tiger. Love what they're doing with the food mascots. I even wish they would venture outside of food mascots. Case in point, I think if they came out with a Jeffrey the Giraffe, toy collectors would be all over that, and I think that would actually coincide with all these Toys R Us stores popping up. But let's focus on Tony. These food mascots are fantastic. Tony was a great addition to what they already had from the Halloween cereals. So to give us Tony the Tiger, other than his bowl of cereal, he comes with a box of Frosted Flakes. He also comes with a basketball because he was always doing some sort of sports in the commercial. But it's just an awesome figure. So I think this is where Jada Toys is really shining, doing a great job on these cartoon style figures. There's been other things that came out this year, but Tony from Jada is really the one that stood out for me. So love this figure. Can't wait to see what they're doing next. I already have the Fruity Pebbles and Cocoa Pebbles Fred and Barney on pre-order. So really excited to get them in 2026. But for 2025, Tony takes my number 5 spot. At my number 4 spot was my number 1 pick for Mcfarlane, and that was Batgirl. Not often can I say that Mcfarlane figures have it all. This one does. It has a great face sculpt, great articulation. She came with great accessories, a wired cape, and she poses fantastic. So again, it's kind of the total package from Mcfarlane. She was my number 1 on that list, and it also helps that she rounds out my Bat family. So just a really fun figure to pose. As soon as I got it out of the package, I knew that I was going to love it. The wired cape, even though we only started adding those recently, I think really makes this figure, and it's a cool metallic blue. Really happy he did that. And then this accessory is actually one of my favorite accessories of the year. So that is a winner for me. So this Batgirl, number 1 on the Mcfarlane list, and she is number 4 on my overall top favorite of 2025. At the number 3 spot, we have the Plunder Beaks. These just came out, and if you are familiar with Lone Coconut, they make the Plunderlings. This is the 4th installment into different types of characters that they're making. They've done the Plunderlings, the Plunderlongs, the Plunderstrongs, and now we have a new species in the line that are these bird-like creatures called the Plunder Beaks. And the last couple were Kickstarters. These just came out for pre-order and immediately showed up. And I wasn't going to get these, but I've fallen in love with them. They have so much great detail. These are all new sculpts. They have different details that the Plunderlings don't have. The gloves, the shoes, they have some toe articulation. And of course, other than the beaks, the wings. The wings are a really cool concept. If you have limited shelf space, you can take segments of the wings off, shorten them, or if you have all the space, you can keep the full wings on. So I actually put some cool clips on the wall. So these guys are kind of flying above my Plunderlings display, and just really awesome. My favorite one is the one in the middle. I don't know their names yet, but they just have such cool detail. Oh, there goes one down. But they have such cool detail on the wings, all the different colors there. And then look at that spray paint, or at least the fade of color on the beak. So it goes from yellow to black, yellow to orange. I think they did such a fantastic job there. All the little bits and pieces that they're wearing give each character a different personality. And each one of these characters has a different beak, which I think is really cool. And this guy, I like his accessories. So they all come with something different, which makes them really fun. A great entry into the Plunderlings universe. The Plunder Beaks at my number 3 spot. At the number 2 spot goes to NECA's Sesame Street line. This is the line I almost didn't collect because I'm still pretty upset about what NECA did with the dinosaur line. So I didn't want to start collecting a new set of figures that NECA wasn't going to deliver. However, in the first year, we've already gotten 3 figures, and they have shown off at least, I believe, 4 or 5 figures. I think we have an Oscar the Grouch coming, Harry Monster, definitely Big Bird. So it looks like things are moving, and I'm still pretty excited. So this is not a line I need to be a full completionist on, but there are some main line characters I'm definitely going to want. So this year we got Bert and Ernie first. Those are fantastic, but of these 3, Count is definitely my favorite. So he has the same great design as the others. They did a great vinyl piece for the clothing. But he just comes with so much more details. The monocle on his eye. He has this paisley cloak on the inside, and then it's a flat green on the other side. So I really hope they continue this. Don't tease us like you did with dinosaurs. Keep this line going. There's some great figures that have already been shown. So all NECA has to do now is deliver, and hopefully they will, because these are so much fun. A line we didn't think we needed, but now that we have it, we want more. So number 2 spot goes to NECA Sesame Street. Now my honorable mention just goes to Jada Toys in general. I love everything that they're doing for the most part. I haven't gone too deep into the Mega Man line except for Mega Man, but their Street Fighter, obviously, I think their big breakout after their Universal Monsters, then surprising us with Rankin and Bass, giving us Frosty, and now a complete Scooby-Doo line. There's so many more characters announced, so we know they're going to deliver. The Street Fighter line is almost done. I know everybody's talking about Storm Collectibles right now and that they're better, but this line is almost to the finish line. Once it's done, I'm not collecting any more Street Fighter. The only thing that can be the icing on the cake is if they were to somehow get the license for Mortal Kombat, which I know Mcfarlane has it, but I like to display my Street Fighter with my G.I. Joe because that's how I played with them as a kid. And I'm quite happy with what they're doing. Yeah, their sculpts are a little soft, but still makes me happy. We already have 3 more on pre-order, and I think the last one that we need is Zangief, if I'm not mistaken. So they're trickling out. They're not, this line, just this company is not overwhelming because things come out very slowly. So I like what Jada's doing. I think they're growing as action figure makers really well. And this is range. I mean, to go from Rankin Bass to Hanna-Barbera and then Street Fighter is crazy. And they're delivering on all fronts. So these might not be the best sculpts or the best articulation, but they're knocking it out of the park, and I love what they are doing. So honorable mention just goes to Jada Toys in general. I think they're doing a fantastic job, and I'm going to keep collecting. So can't wait to see what they do for 2026. So now, how do I judge my number 1 figure of the entire year? And it's simple. It kind of has to have everything: articulation, design, sculpt, cool accessories. But for me, it is, what is the figure that throughout the course of the year, I took it off the shelf multiple times, I swapped out their accessories, I gave them a different pose, put them back on the shelf, and then would just keep revisiting and playing with it. In 2024, my favorite action figure of the year was Valaverse's Action Force Swarm Tracer. Love this figure. And for 2025, it was kind of the same thing. What was that figure that I just couldn't get enough of? I would take it off the shelf all the time, play with it, repose it, and put it back on. So for my number 1 pick, we have G.I. Joe Classified's Crystal Ball. This is a figure back in the day when Real American Hero was still going. Nobody wanted it. It was on every shelf. I had it in my collection. He was kind of like that older guy in the collection that was just kind of boring and weird looking. They really spruced this guy up, made him cool, and then they gave him a whole bunch of awesome accessories. So just talking about the figure alone, they made him younger. He has this cool face paint, lots of cool occult tattoos. His accessories are awesome. He comes with a bunch of different head sculpts that you can swap on, that like octopus horn squid thing. Really cool. Comes with an homage to his original accessory, but then you can put that green cap on. So just design wise, and this doesn't even need to go into your G.I. Joe Classified display. He's just a cool figure all around. But I love this figure. He's come off the shelf plenty of times just so I can play with him and change how I display him. And then coming out with other figures that you can kind of accessorize him with. So kind of have him transforming this Ghost Viper into this Dire Wolf. Really just adds so much more to the play value and really made me happy. So for my number one spot, it goes to G.I. Joe Classified's Crystal Ball. And there it is, guys. This is my top 10 favorite action figures of 2025. Super eclectic top 10, but these are the top 10 figures that brought me the most happiness, brought more fun into collecting, and I think I've gotten everything in the mail before the year ends. So this is it. Nothing else for 2025 is coming. Excited for 2026, and hope you all enjoyed these countdown videos. This is the last one I'll be doing. So hope you all have a happy new year. Until the next episode, we'll catch you next time.